What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Angels Franchise, where in this episode, we're here in year 4 at the All-Star break in a disastrous season. Nothing's gone our way, but that's okay. We sold at the deadline, and the return we got is special, and he makes his MLB debut in this video. I'm excited for that, as well as we still have the #1 farm system in all of baseball, but we're going to have to hold off on calling them up this season because this season has been so damn awful. Last episode, we started in May, and we were a 500 ball club. We hopped into some games, some situations. We win this one against the Athletics in a walk-off. Fun game. We win the series. The Athletics are pretty good this year. So this is a good series win early in the season, right? We also sim against Toronto, win that series. But then we lose the last game of the series and end up getting swept in Detroit, and Detroit's one of the best teams in this series. They have Vladdy Guerrero, so I'm not really too mad about Detroit beating us and sweeping us, but then we compound it into a 6-game losing streak early on in the season. Terrible. And then I hop into another situation against Cincinnati and lose, so that ends up making it so that we lose the series because we lose 1-0 in sim the next day, and the season is basically a wash because then in June we don't win another series until the 16th of June against Chicago is the next series we win, and it's just awful. I really don't know exactly what else to tell you. We went through the stats. Our pitching staff is abysmal all around and has been all year. So the slogan is now, year 5 is our year. All in on year 5. Because June was such a bad month for this team, I had to make a truly tough decision. Do I try to make a truly aggressive move and start bringing up players from the farm and making trades and trying to figure out something to change the way this ball club was going? Or do I sell one more time? We're last in the division. The division is pretty tough. I said it last episode. Wasn't expecting it to be this good. And we're not ranked anywhere good in anything. And it really seems like we have enough prospects that if we wanted to, we could call them up. But why do that? I'm just being super patient at this point, and we're going to sell at this deadline. We're here at the All-Star break, and I know you're thinking to yourself, where is Giancarlo Portillo? How did he not make the starting lineup for the All-Star game for the AL? Well, Jared Duran is having an awesome season and kind of just stole it from him. He's just a little bit more efficient, has way more stolen bases, so it's fine. He's still very young, only 23. He will be an all-star starter eventually, but we're happy that he's playing so well, and the breakout is finally here. 866 OPS for Big Mike. Awesome to see Giancarlo getting votes over guys like Yordan Alvarez, who was an MVP winner in this series in 2026. He's really coming into his own. It's awesome to see. And then there's guys like Jared Ortiz. We're going to call him up to AAA soon. He's playing so well at AA. A potential. 6'5", corn-fed from Wisconsin. We know him. Seen him in the Futures game last season. So he might get called up next season maybe. I don't know. Morris Dye, another player. I know these guys are lower overall, but they're playing so well in the minors. Next year we're all in. These guys might see some at-bats. There's no doubt about that. I'm excited. I know this season is a wash. I've been saying that. But look at these players all coming into their own. Terry Anaya is probably going to get the call up to AA very soon. Well, Esteban, we know about him. Been talking about him. Could bring him up right now. He's so ready. He's an 81 overall. And you're thinking, why is he down in the minors? Because why not? We're not winning this year. So there's no point of doing that. Keep his service time down, and we'll bring him up next season when we're all in for year 5. And we just have so many players. Billy Byler is definitely, look at this. This is dominance. He's going to get called up to AAA and might be on the team next year. Because we're calling some guys up to AAA, we need room in the bullpen. So Victor Gonzalez, who's been pitching at AAA, he's 32, and he's just not a part of the long-term plans. We're going to trade him for a way younger reliever that is going to be good eventually. We just got to let him develop. Another lefty. So we get one back and we get younger. Great trade. Makes room for the roster. all around good trade. We are going to need a catcher in the draft because we don't really have any good ones to back up Logan O'Hoppe, who just got extended, and we need one, so we'll be looking at that soon. So we're moving off Jose Soriano, and I think Casey Barreto makes a lot of sense. He's really not ready for the majors or anything, but we needed a catcher. He'll get into our system, and we'll at least have some youth there because we don't have anything at catcher right now. I'm hoping to draft one soon. I just said that. But this is another way to get one, and hopefully he turns into something. He has big potential. So, Jose, I respect you for all you've done for us. You're a great buy low candidate for the back end of a rotation, and I wish you all the best. Sandoval is the perfect sell candidate. He's been damn solid for us the 2 years we've had him. 1 year left on his deal, a true rental. And we wanted him to become Patrick Sandoval of 2022 when he played for the Angels. And we got pretty much that. Not exactly. I'm not trying to say it was exactly 1 for 1. But he was damn solid for us when we've had him pitch. And now it's time to sell him. And the Braves want to give us a good return in Hammerin Herman Lyon, who hasn't had any service time. He's 24, and he's just knocking the cover off the baseball at AAA. 1,000 OPS. Yes, it's only 65 at-bats. No, I don't care. This guy could easily get a debut in this episode, definitely this season, because he's not really as important to us as other players in the scheme of things. He's already 24, so we're going to see what he's got potentially and get some juice in this lineup. Futures game, there might not have been any all-star starters, but of course we have some starters in the futures game, and we decided to go with Jared Ortiz, who just got the bump up to AAA because he was playing so well in AA. He's still a little underdeveloped as a power threat, and I'm hoping we can develop that because look at the frame. How is he not powerful? And there we go. There's the extra base strength I need to see. There's the slug, and he's going to hit an RBI double in his first at-bat here in the Futures game. Jared Ortiz. We'll be seeing these names in the show very soon. That's why the Futures game's fun. These are all draft picks of other players, and that's a great pitch. Ortiz doesn't have a great glove or anything. That's okay. RBI double. And that's going to be a single, too. He's hitting crazy today. That's amazing. This is really promising. I know year 4 has been awful for us, but we're selling at the deadline. Hammerin Herman might make his debut in this video, and we might really see something special in year 5, man. I'm serious. Paul Weaver, show me something. Come on, buddy. This at-bat is really awesome because we know this guy's also in our farm system who's up at the dish. And we want to see a good at-bat. That's a good take. That's Sokoa. Oh, Paul Weaver absolutely smokes one into the second deck in left field and drives us home. What an at-bat. Let's go. If you're not excited about year 5, you better get excited. That was a perfect off the bat. Let's go. And look how big Jared Ortiz is. That dude's a monster. Wow. This is the future of the Halos, baby. Bat flip and all. Second decker, 433, 111 off the bat. What an at-bat from our man Paul Weaver. Got him in the Mike Trout trade. And I know a lot of people were probably thinking we didn't get much for Mike Trout, but we got... Oh! That was just under the glove of Ortiz. And one's going to score off that hit. I don't know if we would have gotten there in time. Let's see. And it looks like we might have, to be honest with you. He is very tall. I don't know. He's slow, though. I don't know. It was close. Either way, mistimed dive and gets under us. Jared Ortiz, though, and Paul Weaver got me hyped for next season. Now, maybe that one was a little bit closer to us. I think the dive was warranted. A double and a single in this game, man. And waiting on prospects. They just develop. They get a lot of time. And that's fine. That's going to be a pop-up out to right. It's okay, though. This team has shown me something in this game with the players that have gone to the Futures game this time around. And we're going to go for a double play here. That was... What did I just watch? That wasn't a flip, that was a handoff. What was this? Just got what? What is that flip? You're literally right. What? All right, I'll take it. This guy's got like the force or something. I love it. Love to see it. All right, fourth at bat of the game. He's not getting pulled or anything in the Futures game, and it's a close one. That is a rough swing though on a changeup. Could have loved to see a good at bat there. And he's finally getting pitch hit for it. That was a fun game though, guys. It's going to be very exciting going to year 5. Development in this season here in year 4 is that the Mariners actually signed Jeremy Pena to a long-term deal. Pretty cheap, might I add, because he's kind of broken out for them. Not kind of, he has. 870 OPS, and he's their starting shortstop, 11 homers, 7 triples, and 40 doubles just about. And we're not even at August yet, okay? He's been absolutely insane. And that means that Leonardo Taveras is actually blocked now and has not played at all at the major league level this year. I mean, that's pretty insane to me. Going back to where we're simming at, the Mariners are still just kicking our teeth in every time we play them. So there's really no point of trying to go for it this season. Before we get into the potentials of the players we drafted last episode, I think it's really important to explain how important selling really was at this deadline. We were not good enough to compete in this division this year for a lot of different reasons, and we've been very patient on prospects. So one more season of selling at the deadline could really put us over the top next year when we go all in, and I think that is totally the way to go about it. Seattle has kicked our teeth in every time we played them. This is before we sold at the deadline, and we got swept, and we got swept again, so it doesn't matter. And then now Houston's sweeping us, who is actually 4th in the division. Oh no, they're all the way back up to 3rd. So all these teams in the middle of this division are just going back and forth on who's going to be second place, while the Mariners are just better than everyone else, a cut above the rest. And it's showing when we play them. So instead of trying to go for it, wait one more season and see what we can do next year. I think that was a great idea. We're going to look at the draft picks that we just drafted in the last episode and see if they were worth where we took them in the draft. And I know we're going through this season very quickly, and that's only because, like I said before, I go by feel. If the season is really not going the way we want and there's not a lot of great storylines at the majors, I'll move towards a vision of the future and look at the farm system and look at the draft picks we've been picking and how the players are playing down in the minors to give us some hope for the future. I know we're in year 4, so it's like we want to start winning at the majors, and I have made some moves in free agency. It's not like I'm being cheap. I'm just not making the huge splash. I'm getting B-tier free agents. They're just not all working out. Jesus Luzardo's kind of regressed. Last year he was an ace. But that's okay. We're all in on year 5, and hopefully this draft right here supplements the players we're going to call up next year. And it looks like it's going to. First of all, we took a pitcher early in this draft because I knew we were going to need some with how the pitching staff was playing and was basically the big reason why we haven't won anything this year. And Enrique is going to be so fun to play with. I already explained why, but I'll explain it again. He is a lefty pitcher with a screwball. Remind you of anybody? Fernando Valenzuela was exactly that. I'm not calling him that. I know I called Herrera Eddie Murray. I just like hyping these guys up. Let's hope he's something close to that, man. And then we have Carlos Alez, who was a player we actually discovered, and we knew he was amazing. Had to pick him even though he was not ranked on the MLB draft board. Still wanted to make sure he became an Angel. A potential. Horace Cronin, I explained that we knew his potential was A, but he was 23, and if he was in his 60s, he might not be worth keeping, but he might be a trade piece in the offseason to get a really bona fide everyday player. in our lineup for next season when we go all in. I think that's what we're going to do. Leave in the comments what we should do with Horace. I'm not really sure yet. Angelo Diaz, another solid arm that will take a couple years. He's only 59 overall. And Lincoln, Coleman Fernandez actually is going to be a solid reliever eventually. He's only 18. And Kroger as a flyer, the last pick of our draft. All right, whatever. We missed on him. Who cares? Great draft. Very solid draft. Very solid. Not great. If you get 4 blue potentials, I think that's great. We had another solid draft. We haven't not yet had a bad draft. So that means we should be good next year, right? I wanted to highlight players that right now are not getting called up, but in year 5, they're going to be big contributors and definitely getting called up and at least seeing some time at the majors. In Jared Ortiz, he got called up to AAA and is immediately making his impact felt. So we're going to have to see him very soon, no doubt about that. Morris Dye, got him from San Francisco for Reed Detmers. He's been amazing. He's definitely going to be plus 12 to contact versus right. I mean, he's developing in our system amazing right now. Jarrett Madison's probably one of the only disappointing bats in this lineup, batting third. Hopefully he can turn it around. Estevan, 23 homers in the minors, almost a 900 OPS. Paul Weaver, a 750 OPS just about, with 14 homers, 18 doubles, and 3 triples. This dude's going to slug at the majors. And finally, the contact is getting good enough to where I feel comfortable bringing him up for sure. Herman Lyon, going to get some of his first at-bats in our system, 1,000 OPS. It's going to be interesting to see if he can keep it up. If he does, he's 24, so in my opinion, I'll call him up and give him at least an opportunity maybe this season to have an interesting storyline to end the year. He could be a contributor next year. And Peter Tunick, a player we drafted first round in year 2. I don't know what to think of him, to be honest. The OPS is average, but he can hit tanks. So we'll have to see what he can do, I guess. Shonwell has kind of broken out for us. I think it's worth what he's asking for. We only have 1 more year of ARB, and he wants a 5-year deal for 10.7. I think that's worth it, to be honest. We're going to give it to him. I think that's totally worth it. We definitely got to keep some of the players in our core. Zach Neto, I know you're thinking, are we extending him? We extended O'Hoppe, we extended Shonwell. Zach Neto is a player I want to extend. I really, truly do. But I haven't seen enough since 2025. He's been below average 2 seasons OPS-wise, and then just about average, a little below average even, but just about average. And the glove is so good with the base stealing. You can deal with it. He's still got a 3.1 WAR. That's fine, but he's asking for almost 24 a year. So he has ARB next year. I think we give him his last year of his deal, get 1 more sample size of his season out of him, and then go from there. Really quickly, but that is by design for the fact that the season went left in such a way that I had 2 choices. I could have brought guys up that were in the number 1 farm system that are ready to play at the majors, and they probably would have made us scratch and claw in this division till maybe we could make a wild card. We'd probably miss it by like 5 games or so still, because the team was just not ready, especially the pitching staff, and we could have called up Ray Frost, we could have called up other guys. But instead of doing that, the no-brainer move is really to sell the rentals at the deadline, get even more prospects, even more players to supplement the team for next year, to make insane moves, to maybe really honestly turn this team fully around in year 5. And I'm hoping that's the case, because we're going to have a debut in September that I'm really excited about in the call-ups. I hope you guys understand why I'm hoping to move past year 4 as soon as possible. We're here in September in the call-ups. We're going to have a debut, and then I'm probably going to get to standings, award races, and everything like that, so that we can get to year 4's end, the postseason, and free agency all in this video, so that next episode is year 5 opening day. Or this year is going by very quickly. I just went from August, where we were extending Nolan Shonwell, to now we're in September at call-ups, and that's because we're just bad, dude. There's no reason to really go over things. We're bad. The pitching staff is one of the worst in baseball. We have a 4.6 ERA as a team, and the team's not good enough. So we sold at the deadline, and now next year we're all in. But we do have an awesome storyline for call-ups, and it's very, very simple. We traded Patrick Sandoval to the Braves for a player in Herman Lyon, who was their second-round draft pick, and he never got playing time for them. They never thought he was good enough, but yet he had 1,000 OPS in their system in AAA, and then came over here and did the same thing. So if you're telling me he's not ready to match at the majors, I don't know why they were not playing him. But now he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he's ready to make his debut right now in this video. Let's get to it. Making his major league debut, Herman Lyon, welcome to Los Angeles, getting traded from the Braves. And look at this, the #1 ranked farm system, and he is ready to come up and play immediately from this trade. And he's 24, so I thought it would be appropriate at the end of this video in September to have him be the call-up. He's ready. He was mashing in AAA. Liking this batting stance from Herman right now. Is he gonna... And that's a great pitch from Joe Ryan, who is also on the Athletics now. And they're not amazing, but they're 70 and 71, so they're scrappy. Oh, and that's a hanger right down the middle. And he crushes it, but foul. Man. And Herman into the gap. Let's go. His first major league hit. Get him rowdy, boys. Let's go. Yeah. He's running on him, baby. And look at that handlebar mustache. My boy is ready for the majors. He looks like a grown man ready to hit tanks. 24 years old and 76 speed with 88 steal. You think I'm not running? You think I'm not running? Let's go. His first ever steal in the majors with his first ever hit in his debut here at home for the Angels, man. I'm so hyped for this team going forward. I know that year 4 has been terrible for us. I know that we just watched Tyler O'Neill strike out, and we're paying him $20 million. But that's fine, because Tyler O'Neill can fuck off next year. We have other ideas. We have other great ideas, like Herman ripping another one. This one's going to be caught in center, though. Great swing. Bottom of the 7th. He already has a hit in this game, 1 for 2. Herman again with a great swing. That's a sweeper in the gap. Hanger. And I mean, these swings are getting me excited, boys. I know it's 88 off the bat. He doesn't have the pop yet. He's only 24, man. He's going to get there. And we got the bottom of the 8th again. UG Rosario on first. He's getting on base a lot for us. It's going to be so interesting to see how year 5 really turns out for us. He's a little late on that. But, I mean, he almost pushes it out. It's almost a warning track ball. I'm kind of glazing. I said he almost pushed that out. But come on, man. Herman's here, baby. I'm excited. Now it's 4-3. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. Man on third. Luis Rengifo up to bat. Can he get it done for the boys to send it to extras? He also was in the running for the batting title last year. Batted .310. You're telling me this guy against Mason Miller can't get it done? Let's see this matchup. And, oh, it's smoked to the shortstop. And that's an out for the win for the Athletics. We're tanking anyways. Bo Bichette makes the out. Luis Garcia, not a bad outing by any means. We'll take it from a back-end guy. He's right now not a back-end guy, but he should be one. Tyler O'Neill was actually 2 for 4 with a homer, so that strikeout wasn't crazy. Nolan Shonowell, 4 for 4 with a walk. He's arrived. Okay, so after his debut, I simmed, and obviously I was going to check to see how he did in his second game. And let me tell you, Herman went yard in his second ever game. So far, so good. I'm really excited for this kid. I hope he becomes a big part of the team. That was an awesome trade for us. That might be a win-win trade here, and it is. And it is. Sandoval's turning it around for them. That is a win-win trade. I love that for both of us, man. And Tommy Ozuna, who was their first round pick in 2025, along with Hammer and Herman in that draft class, is a beast. So, only 20. Like, what? What a player they got. So, yeah, the Braves are going to be good for a while, and that was a great trade for us. And look who signed with them. Eric Fetty on a one-year deal. Really nice to see a couple of our players that we had in our rotation there. And now we got Hammer and Herman. I'm so hyped that we just get to the end of the season, because now I'm just hyped for year 5 for the fact that this season was a wash. I sold at the deadline. I'll get into the awards, the big ones for that. And Giancarlo Portillo, Big Mike, easily should have won a Silver Slugger, but didn't this year. I'll get into the stats and all that as well. But I just wanted to show you how good this division was. The Athletics make the wild card, and the Rangers just missed out on tiebreakers, and the Mariners almost won 100 games. So it was easily such a good idea to sell. And we're going to get into the East as well, where 2 teams made it. The Orioles and the Red Sox almost won 100 this year. They still have Rafi Devers here in 2028 in this series. And then you have the Central with the Tigers winning almost 110 games. They are insane. And the Twins also make the wild card. And so that means the Rangers and the Guardians were pretty damn close, as well as the Yankees, Rays, Astros, all could have made a run at it. And then you have more of the bottom feeders of the AL. So the Braves were the team that wanted to make the trade for Sandoval, and it looks like it paid off. He ended up being really good for them. It was a win-win, no doubt, and they won their division. So good for them. They're going to be the second seed in the playoffs. The Pirates have won the NL Central 3 years in a row now, and the Brewers are kind of terrible now. We'll look at Mike Trout's stats in this season as well. The Dodgers, of course, winning another 100 games and a 7th NL title. Or NL West title, should I say. Maybe an NL title. We'll see very soon. And here are the wildcard teams. So now we're in the postseason, and we're going to see who wins the World Series here in year 4. The Dodgers are back-to-back champions. The Brewers have won one. Somehow made a Cinderella run in year 1. And then we gave them Mike Trout, and they haven't been good since. So we'll see what happens there. We'll get to Mike Trout's stats real quick, because I love seeing what Mike Trout's up to. And he's really regressing now. And yeah, he's basically an average hitter now. And that makes sense. He's 36. And guess what? You still have to pay him $35 million a year for 2 more years after this. Now you know why I traded him. After simming the postseason, you can see the bracket and see how insane year 4's postseason truly was. And we'll get into the awards after this. It's crazy to say. LA has been slayed before we even had a chance to do it. The Arizona Diamondbacks look to be on another Cinderella run where they win in 5 games in the DS versus their division rival. After their division rival has won 7 straight NL West titles. Can you believe that? That's insane. It doesn't matter. This Diamondbacks core is still here from 2022 with Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, and Moreno all still here. Pretty awesome. 3 for 5 for Moreno, 2 for 5 for Marte, and 2 for 4 for Perdomo, and Carroll walked twice. I mean, that's insane. What a core, and they're back making deep runs. But there's another team that I can't wait to highlight that beat the Braves, who we traded Sandoval to. The Pittsburgh Pirates, who beat them 2-1 because Mitch Keller shoved. And they have just as good of a pitching staff as the Braves. In the AL, you can see the wild cards were pretty insane, with both going 3 games. Baltimore getting upset by Minnesota, and Seattle and the Athletics being in a pretty interesting wild card, divisional rivals, right? Seattle wins that one, but then Boston takes care of business, as well as Detroit taking care of business in the DS. Nothing really crazy, nothing goes 5 games. And Boston overpowers Detroit, which I was not expecting, making the World Series from the AL. And then we go back to the NL, where the same thing happens, a 6-game series, and Pittsburgh comes out on top. I'll go show you their roster real quick to explain how crazy this is, because you still have all the usual suspects, but then you have Edwin Diaz, who they go out and get. You have Victor Robles, who they go out and get. CJ Abrams they traded for. Gleyber Torres they went out and got in free agency. Andy Pages they went out and got in free agency, or actually traded for, I'm sorry. I mean, they have made move after move after move to make this team good. The GM in this game knows what they're doing, and we traded Jose Soriano to them. So now you can understand they bought at the deadline, and it was smart. Everything worked in their favor, and they made the World Series. So good for the Pirates. Their GM in this series has been damn good. But they did not win the World Series because Boston is overpowering. You can look at their roster real quick and see it's load up on pitching in free agency and just pay a bunch of pitchers a bunch of money. And just, they don't care. They gave a bunch of deals, and why would they care? They're World Series champions. Good for them. Pablo Lopez is the only one not on a crazy long-term one. But they're paying like a bunch of money annually, probably like almost $120 million annually to 3 pitchers. So that's crazy. But then their core is in their prime when it comes to their lineup. So they're going to be around for a while in the AL, but we'll be seeing them. Just wanted to highlight a couple players that are important going forward into year 5 and how they did in year 4, because this year was a wash for the most part, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. Zach Neto has completely been inconsistent with the bat. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not. If he wants that contract he wants, he needs to show me a little more consistency at the dish. You got Logan O'Hoppe, who's a bona fide superstar at catcher. As a hitter, 19 homers, 7 triples, 32 doubles this year. I would say just as good as the season last year. Little down year when it comes to OPS, but still a superstar nonetheless. You got Brian Abreu, who was amazing this year, just had barely any innings because he had no opportunities. Next year will be better for him, and I hope he does not regress. Praying he doesn't, because he just did not get the opportunities. He still had 31 saves for a team this bad. That's crazy. Jesus Luzardo is a player that we need more consistency from. 2 more years on his deal, $20 million a year. Paid him to be the ace. Last year he was. This year he wasn't. That's simple. We need more consistency. Hopefully we can get that. He actually allowed less homers this year, but just more earned runs overall. So less innings pitched as well. Just overall, not as efficient as a season. Then you got Luis Rengifo, who we extended for a pretty long time. For another 5 years after this season, and he's 31. If he turns into a bench bat, that's fine. He'll be a middle infield bench bat. He's still solid, a 730 OPS, just not lights out like he was the last 2 years, and that's fine. We're expecting that. And last but not least, we have Big Mike Giancarlo Portillo. He's an amazing player, and look at that. Plus 10 to contact versus left. He is just going to become a beast going forward. He already is one. 28 homers this year and 36 doubles with 3 triples for an 830 OPS. And yes, he didn't win a Silver Slugger. Can you believe it? He was an all-star as a reserve, but how the hell did he not win a Silver Slugger? He was absolutely snubbed this year. And before we go to the next part of this episode, I just wanted to highlight Tyler O'Neill and show you that he was average at best, and now his best season as a professional. But is he going to stay that way? This contract's pretty long. Even though I gave Rengifo basically this same deal, $4 million cheaper. $4 million's not that much. So maybe I should have just paid this. We'll see if I was wrong. Hammer and Hank, probably better though. We'll have to see. I'll go through the most important awards really quickly because I go through all of them, but they're not really as important. We can always look in the award tabs at players when we're playing against them and all too. So it's not that important. I don't want this video to drag on forever. So you got Victor Robles, postseason MVP for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Free agent signing. Who would have thought? Maybe you should spend some money. Bob Nutting. I don't know. Connor Wong, postseason MVP for the Boston Red Sox. Pretty awesome. And he was World Series MVP. Good for him. Congratulations to the Red Sox. You got Corey Seager having 51 homers at 33. Are we dead ass right now? And that's going to give him MVP when Kerry Carpenter honestly could have won it too. 309 average. He batted 336 this year too. Wait, did he win the Triple Crown? I'll look into that for sure. And then you got Kyle Bradish winning the Cy Young, but it didn't matter because this season was a wash for them. They lost in the wild card. Poor Baltimore. And here we go again, just the Dodgers being insane. But Corbin Burns playing well. He needs Tommy John in real life, sad to say. But he's playing well for the Diamondbacks in his contract in this series, and they almost made a World Series because of it. You got the batting titles. Austin Riley and Corey Seager. Will look to see if he actually won the Triple Crown. That's kind of crazy. So I checked, and Corey Seager really did win the Triple Crown. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can see his career totals. We're talking about a Hall of Fame player here, guys. We're going to look at his career WAR, and it's just insane. He almost has 60 career WAR. He has 367 homers and almost 2,000 hits. He'll probably end with 2,000 hits. And he just won his first ever MVP and Triple Crown in the same season, as well as already being a 2-time World Series MVP, a Rookie of the Year. Look at this freaking resume. Oh my God, Corey Seager, I was not expecting a season like this from here. 4 years into the rebuild, but here we are. I now want to get into the offseason so we can end this episode with the end of the offseason. So next episode is immediately into opening day of year 5, because I'm not bullshitting. We're going all in on year 5. No more losing. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure this team's ready next year. And we need another arm in the back end of the rotation. And you're going to probably say, go get a veteran. Go get a more promising player. I don't care. Andy Pace will be good. He's been in the minor leagues now for 4 seasons, and he's been polished now. He's ready to come up and play. They just haven't played him yet. So we're going to make a trade for him. He throws absolute heat. He throws a slider that's 91 miles per hour, a 98 mile per hour 4-seam, and a 96 2-seam. He's a freaking monster. We're going to trade for him. And to get him, we're going to give Tyler O'Neill up. He was a pretty much average hitter, but Baltimore had him before, and he's shown that he can be a decent hitter. And they need a left fielder, so it makes sense. He still mashed 22 homers last year and 29 doubles. There's slug to be had and RBIs to be had in his bat, so it makes sense. We get off the contract, but that's not all we're giving up. We're giving up Errol Vera, who's a player who's a switch hitter, is a pretty nice depth piece, and all around isn't a bad player, but not a great player either. And then just adding Bryce Osmond as a sweetener, and that's enough to get it done. So now Andy Pace, welcome to the squad. This rotation is going to be young, but be fired up for next year. A really big move in this offseason before we even get to free agency, with trying to shore up every weakness on the roster so that opening day in year 5 is the best roster we've had so far. I am sick of having losing seasons. How are we 4 years into this rebuild and we still have not had a winning season? It's embarrassing. So, a position of need, in my opinion, is center field. James Outman has been okay at best at center field. The bat has been underwhelming. I want a better bat, and we're getting a better center fielder in a glove in Rafaela, and also maybe a better bat. We'll have to see. James Outman can stay on the bench for us. We're going to give them a shortstop, which is a position of need, a bullpen arm in Brock Burke, and a young pitcher that they can develop in Ryan Lincoln. And hopefully we can get the best out of Rafaela, who really isn't needed anymore in a Red Sox uniform because they now have Roman Anthony. Agency-wise, I don't have that many moves to make. I don't know how many I am going to make, but I really know there is one position of need I truly want, which is an everyday third baseman, and we have the perfect candidate in this free agency period. Royce Lewis has been a staple third baseman for the Minnesota Twins since he's been called up in 2022. And he's been great for them, man. He has been solid every year as a hitter, and that's what you want from a third baseman. An above average OPS every year, and last year it was above 800, and he smacked 34 dingers. Please come to Los Angeles. Please become a Halo. Royce Lewis, come help us go all in year 5. Now or never offer for Royce Lewis. I offered him $25 a year. Will he become a Halo and go all in with us? He did! He signed the contract! Royce Lewis is going to be a part of this team in year 5. For 5 years, he's a part of this core. 90 overall. Year 5 is about as be special. I can't. Amazing splash in free agency. Royce Lewis is legit the best player on the roster and fills a position of need for us. What an amazing get to end free agency, because we really didn't have any other moves to make. We made some trades to fill up some other holes, and the rest of the holes we need to fill up will come through the farm system, calling players up. Next episode, we will open up year 5 on opening day, and it will be so fun. There will be so many rookies on that team and so many young guys we finally have called up. To end this episode, I wanted to go over a couple things that we ended free agency with, which is a big extension for Zach Neto. Yes, he got an extension, not a huge one, not a long one, but an extension nonetheless. Right now, that's all he needs. He needs a little placeholder to see, is he going to be worth it to get another extension and be an Angel for life or not? We'll see in the next 3 years. For now, he's definitely the cornerstone shortstop because he's still in his prime and has room to grow. And Ben Joyce was the other player that is really important to talk about. He also got an extension, not a big extension money-wise, but a long extension. And that's because if you look at the stats, he's lights out. I don't know why 2 seasons ago he just didn't play well for us, and last year we just never called him up again because of the fact that we weren't playing well anyway, so I was tanking. Now it's time to go all in on year 5. He gets extended. All of these players are going to be crucial parts in the next episode in opening day for year 5. I hope you guys are super excited. Off there, and next episode we're going to start with opening day in year 3, and you're going to really see how insane this roster is going to be, supplemented with a bunch of young rookies that we've been holding off on calling up to the majors because I've been so patient, and it's all going to culminate in the year 5 probably being the most hyped up so far in this series, and that's not a joke. You can see the moves I've already made in the offseason. You haven't even seen who I've called up yet and who the opening day roster truly is going to be. And if you're excited for that, leave a like on this video, leave a comment in the comment section. I'm always open to new suggestions for videos, as well as suggestions on these series to make them better. And I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers, so I'd appreciate a sub. It is totally free, about as free as I am when I'm pitching on this game. Thank you guys for all the support on the videos so far. I've already passed my goal of 10 subscribers when I made the account. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See ya.